Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Divya Irunisa from class B afternoon in 5th semester. Okay, now I will present the predicate material. Here we will discuss the 4 main points of the predicate. First is predicate in syntax versus in semantic. And the next is predicate, predicator, and argument. The third is degree of predicate or valency, and the last is some change in valency. Okay, we start with the first is predicate in syntax versus in semantic. Predicate is an important part of a sentence. In syntax, it is clear that predicate is generally understood to be realized as a verb, and predicate is needed as a grammatical structure in language. In grammatical rule, predicate has a function to define the position of an object or some relation between two or more objects. The object concerning which a predicate asserts something are the argument of that predicate. It means that syntax and semantic cannot be separate in a sentence because the two are interrelated. The meaning of a sentence, which is semantic, has the account of different form of the same word. The example is cat, cats, or connect, connecting, and connected, and etc., which is rule in syntax. In this case, while semantic deals with meaning and syntax deals with structure of meaning. Predicate is any word or any phrase that has any function of a predicator. In semantics, predicator can be preposition, object or object phrase, adjective or adjective phrase, and noun phrase. Okay, next is predicate, predicator, and argument. A. Predicate. In traditional grammar, a predicate is one of the two main parts of a sentence, or the other being the subject which the predicate modify. In current linguistic semantics, a predicate is an expression that can be true of something. Thus, the expression like is yellow or is like a broccoli are true of those things that are yellow or like broccoli, respectively. This notion is closely related to the notion of a predicate in formal logic, which includes more expression than the former one, for example, nouns and some kinds of adjective. An adjective is seen as a property that a subject has or is characterized by. A predicate is therefore an expression that can be true of something. Thus, the expression is moving. It's true of anything that is moving. It is also the understanding of predicate as defined in English language dictionaries. The predicate is one of the two main parts of a sentence, or the other being the subject, which the predicate modifies. The predicate must contain a verb, and the verb required to or permits other elements to complete this predicate, or it precludes them from doing so. And the next is predicator. In clauses and sentences, the predicator is the head of a verb phrase. The predicator has a definition consisting only of verbal elements, an obligatory lexical verb, and one or more optional auxiliary verb. In addition to its function to specify the kind of process of the clause, the predicator has 3 other functions in the clause. First is at time, meaning though expressing a secondary tense, and the next is specify aspect and phrase, and the last is specifies the voice of the clause. The distinction between active voice and passive voice will express through the predicator. And the last is argument. In semantic, argument is the entity about which a prediction is made in syntax. An argument is a constituent or noun phrase or adpositional phrase that is required by another like predicative or argument taking, and constituent like a verb or relational adjective or relational noun. Okay, next is degree of predicate or valency. In linguistics, valency or valence is the number of arguments controlled by a predicate. Content, verb being typical predicates. Valency is related to, not identical to subcategorization and transitivity, which count only object argument. Valency counts all argument, including the subject. Okay, next, there are the several types of valency. First is impersonal or avalent. The next is intransitive or monovalent or monadic. And the next is transitive or divalent or dyadic. And the next is ditransitive or trivalent or dyadic. And the last is tritransitive or quadrivalent and quadratic. Okay, next. Last is some change in valency. A. Changing valency. Must language provide a means to change the valency of verbs? There are two ways to change the valency of a verb: reducing and increasing. Note that for this section, the label S, A, and P will be used. These are commonly used names or taken from morphosynthetic element theory. Given to argument of a verb, S refers to the subject of an intransitive verb, A refers to the agent of an transitive verb, and P refers to the patient of a transitive verb. Okay, next is these are core argument of a verb. Lydia is subject, is sleeping. Don't is a argument, is a cooking dinner. P is a patient. Non-core or peripheral arguments are called obligous and are typically optional. Like first is Lydia is sleeping on the couch, or Don is cooking dinner for his mom. And the next is valency reduction. Reducing valency involves moving an argument from the core to oblique status. The facetious and antifacetious are prototypical valency reducing device. This kind of derivation applies most to transitive clause. Since there are two arguments in the transitive clause, A and P, there are two possibilities for the reduction the valency. Okay, next is this is the example of predicator and argument. First is a tall, handsome stranger entered the salon. The predicate is tall, handsome, stranger, and salon. The predicator is enter. The next is Juan arrest Pablo. The predicator is arrest and the argument is Juan. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.